Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere. It's much better, much better, much better. You know, very rarely do I have 2 bad days in a row. Right. So yesterday I wasn't happy with my performance yesterday. I was going for 8 miles, which should be easy for me, and I ended up stopping at 6.5. Today, knocked out 10 miles. You know, made up for it, and it's all because of what I did. So after yesterday's run, I went online and I started to adjust my expectation a little bit for the marathon that'll be happening in about 3 weeks. And I said, you know what, let's drop this, let's adjust the expectation, you know. Let's see what exactly my pace needs to be if I wanted to run a 5-hour marathon, as opposed to getting it in before, you know, within somewhere around 4 hours. I say, you know, let's adjust the expectation, see what the pace needs to be for a 5-hour marathon, seeing that this is gonna be my first of many, by the way. But you better believe it, first of many, by the way. All right. And I was listening to a lot of the experts out, the people who have done it before, and they're talking about how you got to be training at your race pace. So if your expectation is 5 hours, you should be at about 11-minute pace, 30-minute pace. And today I was around 10 to 11-minute pace on just a 10-mile run, because I wanted to know what the pace would feel like. And obviously, as you can see, I have a whole lot more left in the tank because I was focusing on my pace a whole lot more. I normally, during my runs, at least throughout the first 3 miles, I normally don't look at my timer because I'm just kind of in the zone. But today I was making sure that I was looking at my pace. I wasn't going too fast. I wasn't, going, but normally my average pace is around 9:30 longer run days. You'll see it get up to 10. Very rarely do you see it get to 11. And I was focusing on making sure my pace was at 11 throughout today's run. And as you can see, again, have a whole lot more juice left in the tank today. And it's the power of what we have, the resources and the things that we have available to us to make sure whatever our goal is, we're staying on point, we're staying on track to get there. So mark my words, again, couple of weeks, 3 more weeks, and I'll be ready to go. October 21st, Sebring, Florida, GFNY Marathon. All right, now, as far as today's Move Swiftly thought, I gotta address this because it actually is very relatable to everything I just explained to you guys, in terms of this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So a week ago from the day of this recording, you had the entire national media talking about how the Miami Dolphins were the #1 Super Bowl contenders, the greatest show on turf, the greatest thing since Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and Marshall Faulk and Torrey Hall, the whole night, right? The greatest show on turf, the whole thing, right? Because they had a great game, ain't taking nothing away from Tua McDaniel. They balled out. They had a great game last week, put up 70 points against the Denver Broncos. But guess what? This week, completely different story. They lose 48 to, I think they had like 20 or something like that, 21 or 28 to 48 or something ridiculous like that. And this brings me to today's Move Swiftly thought. Understand this. Mark my word. Understand this. This is not a business, and this is true for any business. This is why I tell you guys all the time, the game teaches life. It's true for any business. What you did yesterday, what you did last week, what you did 2 days ago, what you did 2 hours ago even, doesn't fucking matter. It's all about what happens now. What happens now? This is a week-to-week business, and the lesson. Now, keep in mind, I'm not particularly a Buffalo Bills fan. I really do enjoy watching Stefan Diggs do his thing because he went to my alma mater, and I do love the story of Josh Allen. So if I had to pick a team that I want to win outside of the Dolphins in the AFC East, I would be rooting for the Buffalo Bills because of those two. And understand what Josh Allen said after the game. He goes, "Look, we ain't did nothing yet. That sting of losing in the playoffs and getting their ass beat in the playoffs 2 years in a row, it's still there. So understand, before you start dubbing people Super Bowl runner-ups and Super Bowl champions and making them the greatest show on turf just because they had a good game, think twice before you start doing that, because this is a business that moves week to week." And I'll close you out with this. I believe it was one of the announcers. I can't remember his name, but he, after the game, he goes, "Look, The one thing I do know is that I do not know nothing, or something like that. Some quote he had basically saying, look, everyone expected for the Dolphins after last week, the Dolphins to come in and, light up the scoreboard. But in fact, it was the other team, the team on the other end, that lit up the scoreboard, and the Dolphins did not look the way they looked against the Broncos. And that's a huge, huge lesson that you need to be taken away today. Whatever you did yesterday, again, you got to rub that shit off, scratch it off. They doing dances and all this kind of shit in the end zone. I had a feeling this would happen too. Dolphins doing dances, and they got choreographed dances. They they smell themselves a little too much. The Buffalo Bills have to humble that ass, all right? And hey, that happens in life. That happens all the time. And understand how you can apply it in your organization. It's huge. It's a huge lesson. So make sure you're paying attention to those kinds of things, all right? Main website to check out to dive deeper into my work, makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.